Okay, we're going to run over how to mark out and drill a dowel joint. Okay, the tools we require: a nice sharp pencil, steel rule, 300mm one's fine, a marking gauge, tri-square, and depending on the size dowel that you're using, a dowel bit. We're going to use a 10mm dowel bit. Rightio, we have some pieces of timber pre-cut. It's not the actual size, but it will do for our demonstration. Okay, the first thing we need to do is lay it out in the order that we're going to assemble it in. Okay, and that's the order there. Alright, so that should be what it looks like. The next thing that we need to do, which is the first thing you do to all material, is let's mark a face side and a face edge on it. Okay, so we've got the face side mark, face edge mark, and you've got on each piece. Because this is going to be a door, I want all my face edge marked to the inside so that they're already pre-finished when we put it together, so that'll save any sanding or any mucking around. The next thing that we need to do is let's number all the pieces so they're located in the correct spots. So we can do this either way, either with letters or numbers. So we're going to go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4, 4. That way we're always going to line them up in the correct sequence. Next thing we need to do is we need to mark whereabouts we're going to put our dowels. Because of the door that we're working on for our Year 11 project has a insert put in the back. Because these doors are going to have a insert fitted, we're going to have a rebate fitted on the inside. The rebate that we're using is 5mm by 10mm deep, so we've got to make allowances for that where we put our dowels. Okay, the next spot will be to mark our dowel positions. Just referring to what I just said about our rebate, we need to allow 5mm, plus we're going to put a 10mm dowel in, so let's go in 15mm. That'll give us a good clearance of at least 5mm. So we'll mark in 5 that side. From the outside we can come in 10, and we just run around and mark all those positions in place. Once we've marked our positions, we make sure we're all nicely lined up, and we mark across both pieces of timber. I'll just hold that one up to show you. You can see that I've marked directly across both pieces of timber. We go all the way around and mark all of those pieces so they're all identical. Right, I have all those pieces marked. Next thing we need to do is take our tri-square, and we're going to mark it 90 degrees from those down along the sides. So we can see all our marks for number 1. Tri-square, making sure the stock is against your face side. We mark a line at 90 degrees, make sure it is exactly on your lines. Any mistake here and you're likely to have your dowels not lining up. Okay, continue on and mark all your pieces like that. After we've marked all our positions for our dowels at 90 degrees down the sides, we can see we've marked them all in the correct position, and we've made sure they all line up appropriately. We need to mark the centre point on the edges with our marking gauge. What we need to do is measure the thickness, which is 19 mils in this case. So half of 19 mils is 9.5. and we need to set that with your ruler. Rightio, I've checked. Right at the very tip of the spur is where it should be, exactly on the 9.5, which is pretty close. So to double check, we always work with our stock against our face edge, face side, and all we need to do is put a small mark. If we spin that around the other way and put another small mark right beside our mark, they should be dead on top of each other. If they're not, you can readjust the spur so that we get it exactly in the middle. If they overlap, naturally you have to shorten it. If they don't quite meet, you need to lengthen it fractionally. Okay, my one actually works pretty spot on. So what I'm therefore going to do, I'm going to scribe my line down the centre, making sure I have my stock against my face side. So each piece we will mark, ensuring that I've got that stock against my face side. If you're careful and spin your timber end for end, you won't make a mistake and mark it from the wrong side. Right, all done. Right, drilling's up next. Rightio, we're working on a horizontal drilling machine. I have my 10mm doweling bit fitted into the chuck. First thing I need to do is I need to set up to the centre point exactly on my scribe line. Now, whenever you're drilling on the horizontal drill, it's really important that we always have our face side down. Right, so face side down. We will check whether it's on it. It's not quite, we need to readjust it. So release and adjust. And there you are, spot on, retighten it. The next thing we need to check is our depth. Our dowels are 40mm long, so we want to make sure that our hole is at least half of that, 20, and I always allow at least a couple of extra mils for any excess glue that's in the bottom, so that we make sure they do crank together okay. So we do a check on here, it's a little bit short. Yeah, I've got that one set up at 23mm, so that should work pretty nicely. Rightio, any machinery, it's a really good idea to put some earmuffs on, and of course you should have your safety glasses on, so I'll just grab some earmuffs. Rightio, when we're drilling, there's two things to be really careful of. Number one, make sure your face side is down. Number two, we want to make sure that we're drilling pretty well parallel with the edge. So we already have a guide here to give us an idea where it is, and as long as you're pretty close to that, we should be fine. So start the machine. And line up exactly what we want. Face side down. And we continue through and drill them all. Okay, once we've drilled all the holes, the idea is we'd always do a pre-fit to make sure everything works really nicely. These dowels have little flutes on them flutes are there for main reasons is allow glue to escape up the sides, and so it's glued all the way around. However, they are a very, very tight fit. So a good idea is just to roll them with a piece of timber. Our bench hook here will be fine. Just give them a couple of rolls. The idea of that is it crushes it slightly and will allow it to fit inside your dowel holes a lot more easily, so that you can pull it out again and then re-glue. Just give them all a tap in with your mallet, make sure they're seated on the bottom. The sound changes when they're seated on the bottom, so it's pretty easy to tell. Hear that? Rightio, now just make sure our numbers all line up nicely. And we should all fit just nicely together. And just a gentle tap with our mallet. So our pre-fit, we just check that everything's flush, which it feels pretty jolly good, and we're ready to go, ready to glue up and cramp using the sash cramps.